Welcome back to the channel, and in 10 minutes, I'm gonna die.
Welcome to Connect Sim, a channel dedicated to one question. Can VR Flight Sim pre-train a student for flight school? Will it make you a better pilot, faster, safer, and for less money? And will the Masked Aviator ever remove his VR headset?
Hey, show me in the rulebook where it says I can't wear goggles while flying. Wow, there's a lot of rules in there.
After 6 months of full immersion simulation, I'm putting my life on the line to find out. Does pre-training in VR give a rookie pilot the edge? Or have I just doomed my poor CFI to an overconfident student with a head full of bad habits?
Strap in, hit subscribe as we push the limits of pilot training
On Connect Sim.
Okay, so today's flight, we're gonna recreate a flight I took maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it kind of gave me the idea for this channel and this method of getting a pilot's license. I was thinking about getting a license and I was flying in VR, and something happened on this flight that taught me a principle of aviation that I certainly would have read in a book or learned from a CFI, but something about experiencing it for real made it come alive. So I want you to fly along with me. You're going to be my co-pilot today. There you are, looking good. And yeah, you'll experience what I did. So let's get to it. I've already done my run-up, so the only thing left to do is kick off the brakes and let's do 2 notches of flaps. Slowly apply power, give it a little bit of right rudder, and away we go. And airspeed's alive. That's 30. That's 40. 55 rotate. And we're gonna clean up our flaps. So today we're in Switzerland. This is Locarno, Switzerland, and it is just beautiful over this lake. Look at that view. You just can't match the immersion that a VR headset gives you. So I think this flight taught me something about learning. You can read something in a book, you can learn something in a classroom, but that's just, rote memorization. You don't have a working model of how to really apply that knowledge until you go out and do something. And it is pretty expensive to fly a plane, and it's probably the worst place to learn at least the base of what you need to learn to go flying. I feel, and maybe I'm wrong in this, that when I go flying, I want to maximize that time to learn the things that you can only learn in a real plane. And that's the muscle memory of flying. I don't think you're going to get that as accurately as you're going to need it to be in VR. I think that you need to get into a plane and really experience it. But there's certain things that, they want you to read this book, The Pilot's Handbook of Aviation Knowledge, and to get anything from that, more than just fun facts that you can memorize, you really need to test it out. You need to go out and you need to fly. So I think VR fits in this nice little window of pre-training where you can get into a fake plane and you can experience what you need to experience to take that rote memorization and transform it into sort of a working model that you can operate from. So I want to go in with the basics already kind of mastered, and I think VR, my plan for it is to use VR as that tool to transform what I read in a book, what I watch in other YouTube videos, to transform it into a working model that I can actually operate from when I get in the plane. I would love it if I can get in that plane and be landing, within the first couple of flight lessons. I don't know how long it takes before they let you, but I want to advance as fast as possible, and I'd love to be able to get my license in as close to that 40-hour minimum as possible. That said, I don't want to be a dangerous pilot, so getting your license in 40 hours is, it would be neat, but more importantly than saving money or doing it fast, I want to be safe, and to be safe you have to have a broad base of experience. You need that model in your head to be functional. So that's what this channel is about. But of course, in advance of that, we all have done the VR thing where you see a cool bridge and you just gotta fly under it, and I'm sure there's no way that that's legal. That can't be legal. So that's what, in the flight that I'm recreating, that's kind of what I was doing. It was still in that having fun mode, flying way too close to the terrain, flying under bridges, having that sort of fun. And you can kind of, if you're a pilot, maybe you see what danger I'm in right now. That when I first took this flight, I had no idea I was in danger. But you know, if you want to get low, if you want to fly in a deep canyon like this, sometimes the mountains can outpace your ability to climb. And that's the situation I got into, and that's the situation I'm in now. And that's something I think that's what I learned most of all, is that, you know, there's a certain sense of danger that you have when you're experienced in something that if you're not experienced in it, you're never gonna know. Like at this point, I might be able to still climb out, but that window is rapidly closing, and it might be closed already. But the other thing that it taught me is, and pilots, you also will know this, VX, VY speeds. If you look at my, let's go to this view. If you look at the G1000 screen, you see those little tiny dots at the bottom, right along my airspeed tape. You can see one that says Y, G, X, and then below that there's another one. So these two speeds, VY, VX. What I learned later is VX is what you would go for. I think of it as X has a lot of angles in it, so it's your best angle of climb. You want the steepest climb out that you possibly can get. VY is if you want to get up to an altitude in the least amount of time. Like if we were in a challenge to see who can get up to altitude, we would race, and if I aimed for VY, then when I hit the altitude I'd win, I'd say yay. So, you know, little mnemonics that help me remember those things. You know, when you start to realize, like right about now, I probably in the original flight, I started getting a sense like, I should probably start climbing out. And, you know, you don't know what speed to climb out at, but let's, now that I know, let's aim for VX. And you can see right there, if I just hold that speed. So now as you're doing this mountain is getting kind of big. I think there's a certain kind of panic that starts to set in at a certain point that you can't replicate panic by reading a book, that's for sure. But here, you know, now I know how much to pitch up, and it's really, yeah, there's no way that I can make it. There's even something that gets in your brain that tells you to put that nose up higher, you know, point the nose towards the top of the mountains, and then you'll get there. But when you do that, you start to slow down, and you don't climb as fast as you need to. And it also gives you a chance to start really racking your brain, like what else could I do to, you know, to get higher. I am going too slow, so I got to pitch down. Yeah, I'm about 6,000 feet. I'm trying to trim to maintain VX. It's not going well for me. I've leaned out the engine to try and make as much power as I can at this altitude. That's not working. And trying to hug these mountains as best I can. Whoa, it's coming up real close. At this point, yeah, this mountain is too narrow for me to turn around. If I had more altitude, ironically, I probably could have climbed out. As much power as we can. Woo. So I'm trying to climb out. Here's my VX speed, and yeah, that mountain just keeps approaching, keeps getting closer. Let's see if I can get over this ridge. You know, and it almost seems like I'm descending, and I know that's not true because I look at my vertical speed and I'm achieving about 500 feet per second. Here it comes. Whew. And panic is causing me to pitch up higher, which is slowing me down and putting me close to stall speed. Yeah, no, I can't climb out. Best I can try is maybe a landing. Nope, stalled and crashed and died. All right, well, I can still try and climb out. Now I've got a little bit more speed thanks to that crash, just like in real life. Let's pitch up. I'll try for my VX again. Yeah, I'm going 2,000 feet a minute, and now comes. And crash. And I can feel my mouth is getting dry, my heart rate is going up, I'm getting a little bit of panic. And it's not real, but there's something about it that makes it real. You start thinking about what else can you be doing? Can you add more power? Can you mix the engine out? Gonna be close. Ooh, all right. Boy, I tell you, everything they tell you about the Swiss Alps, they are correct. It is beautiful. So anyway, there's gonna be much more of these to come. I have 6 months before I actually get into a plane and start my lessons. So yeah, come along with me. Let's learn together. If you're a pilot, definitely hit me in the comments. Let me know what I did wrong this flight and all other flights to come. If you're also planning to get your license, let me know, and we'll take this journey together. And if you're just into flight sim, if you want a more realistic experience in flight sim, that's what this channel is about, is getting the most realistic experience possible, learning how to fly a plane. So yeah, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.